The utility bill. For us, it wasn't just a line item, it was a monthly verdict on our survival. Every time that envelope landed on my desk, a cold dread would wash over me. The numbers just kept climbing, eating away at our profits, making the future of this factory, a business my family built over 3 generations, feel completely out of my hands. We were trapped. Our margins were vanishing. The stress was suffocating, and I was genuinely scared, not just for the money, but for the 50 people who trusted us with their livelihoods. We were on the brink, and I was fresh out of ideas. And then, the solution came from the most unexpected place, our huge, empty roof. Our factory specializes in high-precision metal fabrication. It's a tough business. It demands incredible skill, and, as I learned the hard way, an incredible amount of energy. That constant hum of the CNC machines, the brilliant lights essential for quality control, the massive HVAC systems, it all adds up. For years, that was just the cost of doing business. You budget for it, you complain about it, and you pay it. But then things got worse. Utility rates weren't just high, they became wildly unpredictable. We were slammed with hikes of 20%, then 30% year after year. What was once a large but manageable expense had morphed into a monster that was actively crippling us. Every dollar we paid to the utility company was a dollar we couldn't invest in new equipment, a dollar we couldn't use for a well-deserved raise, a dollar we couldn't put towards staying competitive. The pressure was immense. I watched our competitors get leaner while we were getting squeezed. We had to put off buying a new cutting machine we desperately needed. We froze hiring. The worry was a constant, low-grade fever, draining my energy and focus. I spent my nights staring at spreadsheets, trying to find savings that simply weren't there. It felt like steering a ship straight into a hurricane with no way out. The stress wasn't just professional, it was the crushing weight of knowing I could let everyone down. The final straw landed on a Tuesday afternoon in August. Our quarterly energy bill arrived. My stomach was already in knots just seeing the envelope. When I opened it, the number I saw literally took my breath away. It was nearly 40% higher than the same period last year for the same amount of output. It was an obscene figure. It didn't just wipe out our profit for the quarter, it plunged us deep into the red. I walked out onto the factory floor. I saw the sparks fly, heard the familiar rhythm of the stamping press. I looked at the faces of our team. Some of these people have been with us for decades. They depend on this place. In that moment, I felt completely and utterly trapped. We were working harder than ever, making fantastic products, and still sliding backward. How was that even possible? We were at the total mercy of a volatile energy market. A single, unpredictable bill threatened to destroy everything my family had built. That night, I sat at my desk, head in my hands, feeling absolutely helpless. How could we plan for the future? How could I promise our employees any kind of stability when our foundation was so shaky? It was painfully clear that what we were doing wasn't working. We couldn't just cut more costs. We had to change the game entirely. We had to take back control. The idea didn't come from a boardroom meeting. It came to me on my drive home. Stopped at a traffic light, I glanced over at a massive distribution center on the highway. Its entire roof was covered in a sleek, dark grid of solar panels. I'd seen panels before, of course, but this was different. This wasn't just some green statement. It looked like a declaration of independence. That company wasn't just buying energy, they were making their own. That was the spark. I spent the entire night frantically researching industrial solar panels. At first, it was overwhelming. What size system would we need? What's the real cost? Would the installation shut down production? Was this only for giant corporations with bottomless pockets? But as I dug deeper, my skepticism started turning into real optimism. It turns out, factories like ours are ideal for solar. We have huge, flat, unobstructed roofs, and we use most of our power during daylight hours. I learned that the return on investment wasn't some 30-year pipe dream anymore. For many industrial businesses, the average ROI is between 10% and 20%, often outperforming traditional investments. The payback period, the time for the system to pay for itself, was typically between 5 and 10 years. But this is the part that really got me. The financial incentives. The Federal Solar Investment Tax Credit, or ITC, would let us claim 30% of the total system cost as a direct dollar-for-dollar reduction on our federal taxes. When you combine that with accelerated depreciation, which lets you write off the system's value incredibly fast, the upfront cost started to look a lot less intimidating. This wasn't just an environmental project, it was a powerful financial strategy. The path forward was still a little fuzzy, but for the first time in a long time, I could see one. Finding the right partner was the critical next step. We couldn't afford to get this wrong. We interviewed 3 different commercial solar installers, had them walk the facility, analyze 2 years of our energy bills, and submit a detailed proposal. We weren't just looking for the lowest price, we needed a team that truly understood manufacturing. The best proposal came from a company that didn't just talk about panels, they talked about our business. They presented a full analysis showing how a custom-designed system would perfectly match our energy consumption patterns. They laid out all the numbers with total transparency. The cost, the immediate savings from that 30% federal tax credit, the 5-year depreciation schedule, and a conservative estimate of our payback period. They demonstrated how a roof-mounted system would be the most cost-effective option, projecting an average ROI of 13.73% and a payback period of about 10 years. The installation itself was surprisingly smooth. The crew worked around our production schedule, causing almost no disruption. Honestly, most of the work happened on the roof, and we barely knew they were there. In less than 3 weeks, our 20,000 square foot roof went from being a passive shield against the weather to an active, power-generating asset. The moment they flipped the switch, that was something else. Our meters started spinning backward. The hum of the factory was the same, but now the power source was the sun. That constant anxiety I'd been living with finally began to recede, replaced by an incredible feeling of empowerment. We had taken our single biggest vulnerability and were turning it into our greatest strength. The first electricity bill after the system went live was the real moment of truth. I actually looked forward to opening it. The result was staggering. Our bill was down by nearly 80%. It was real. In that first year, our savings were even better than the projections. The return on this investment has been about so much more than just the monthly bill. The numbers alone tell a fantastic story. Our system is on track to pay for itself in just under 7 years. After that, with a 25-plus year lifespan on the panels, we're looking at nearly 2 decades of essentially free electricity. We're not just saving money, we're generating reliable cash flow that we're pouring right back into the business. We finally bought that new CNC machine. We were able to give our entire team a raise they had deserved for a long time. But the change has been bigger than the financials. Our energy supply is now stable and predictable. We're shielded from wild price spikes and grid instability. That security alone has been a game changer for our planning. On top of that, our property value has actually increased. And then there are the things you can't put on a spreadsheet. Our employees are genuinely proud to work for a company that's investing in the future. It's even helped our brand. We've had new eco-conscious customers seek us out because they want to work with partners who share their values. That constant nagging anxiety is gone. It's been replaced by a deep sense of pride and security. We didn't just put solar panels on our roof, we invested in our future. We secured this factory for the next generation. Looking back, the journey from the edge of failure to energy independence has changed everything. We took our roof, a space we never gave a second thought, and turned it into a power plant that's fueling our growth. That constant fear of unpredictable costs is gone, replaced by the confidence that comes from controlling your own destiny. This was never just about saving the factory. It was about making it stronger, smarter, and more competitive than ever before. It was a strategic business decision that is paying dividends in ways I never could have imagined. For our bottom line, for our brand, and for our people. If you're a factory owner feeling trapped by rising energy costs, I need you to hear this. There is a way out. The same solution that secured our future can do the same for you. Taking that first step to get a solar assessment for your business isn't just an operational choice. It's an investment in your stability, your profitability, and your peace of mind. Don't wait until you hit a breaking point. Explore your options. See for yourself how you can turn your biggest liability into your most powerful asset. Click the link in the description to find out more from our partners at solar-switzerland.ch and get started.